This is ESPN.com's first mock draft, post-draft lottery. Oof. And it's interesting. They've got Trae Young going at number 6. There's a lot of people in Cleveland who hope that Trae Young would hang around until number 8 because that's where they're picking. But right in this scenario, they would have first up at Michael Porter Jr., who of course has injury concerns.
Oh man!
But that's a guy.
People think, oh, it could be a mini LeBron. I mean, not that anyone's the mini LeBron, but you know what I mean.
Mini LeBron talk aside, this is a guy who's number 1 in the high school class before he had his back injury. So I mean, that might be a blessing in disguise if he's physically healthy.
Yeah, I mean, listen, when I watch this kid, it's like I'm watching myself. I'm talking about Michael Porter Jr. Yeah, he has that type of game. So if he's around, that'll be a really good pick. I see him having an impact like Jason Tatum having.
Interesting. And you're not concerned about the back?
Well, I mean, I had a herniated disc, my whole career, and I managed to play. Yeah, I had surgery after career, so I found some way to manage it.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, it'll be interesting. And look, what they do with that pick is going to be interesting. They can't trade it before they actually draft a player because they traded the other pick, first round pick they had. The rules about having to trade so many picks.
Conversations have already begun, Rachel.
So this is what I was going to ask. They cannot trade it before they draft. However, we have certainly seen the Cavaliers in specific. Look, they drafted Andrew Wiggins, and after that 30th day pass, they traded him for Kevin Love in a prearranged discussion. So tell me how this works kind of behind the scenes.
I'll give you an example. The most heart-wrenching, painful example. 2009, we're in conversations with the Golden State Warriors. We're going to trade Amar'e Stoudemire. Amar'e Stoudemire's contract is up. We're not sure if we can afford to keep him. Golden State's really hot for him. Nelly wants him. Cool. We go back and forth. They say, no, that guy's untouchable. This guy's untouchable. Finally, we end up with, I think it was like Brandon Wright and Biedron's contract, and y'all pick. And we're like, all right, cool. But our guy has to be on the board, right? So 1 is Blake Griffin. Cool. 2 is Thabit. Like, whoa. 3 is Harden. Okay. 4 is Tyreke Evans, right? 5, Ricky Rubio. We're like, okay.
So what's the Golden State pick?
7.
7, okay.
So 5 is Ricky Rubio. We're like, oh, man, but Minnesota has 5 and 6. They clearly, the Rubio's a passer. They take Curry. He's a shooter. 6 is Johnny Flynn. And we're like, woo! We hit the lotto, baby. We just got our new franchise player.
Minnesota took Johnny Flynn.
Minnesota took Flynn.
So you were like, great, Golden State.
We thought it was great. Done deal. See y'all next year. Steph Curry's the new Steve Nash. Our new franchise player is here. We believed in him like that that whole time. And then next day it's like,
yeah, sorry.
I don't think we don't think we're going to do that deal.
What? We're going to keep him. Yeah, because they didn't think he'd be available at that point either. So, right? So this is interesting with the Cavs because they are in this crazy situation of the draft is at the end of June. Free agency begins July 1. It doesn't seem they're going to get an indication from LeBron on what he's going to do if he's just going to opt out and become a free agent. He has shown that he makes his old team go through the process like everyone else. The question the other thing he could do is pull a Chris Paul, what Chris did last year. He could opt in either to give himself 1 more year in Cleveland and feel things around, or to force a trade to specifically go to one team that might not have a slot for him. Or he could wait and see what happens with Kawhi Leonard and whether the Spurs offer him this Supermax extension. And if they do, Kawhi, we think, would not turn down $219 million. But if they don't, there is the feeling that Kawhi would say, hey, I want to force a deal. I want to get out of here. So maybe LeBron would wait for that. There's so many pieces going on around here. And the Cavs also have to decide how much they want to disrupt things and sort of wheel their franchise around to try to keep LeBron. It sounds insane that they wouldn't want to, but there have been reports out of Cleveland that Dan Gilbert is sort of hedging his bets and maybe isn't going to go all out because he doesn't want to be, as Dan puts it, left in the situation that he was last
Rachel, I didn't hear a word you said. I just been thinking about Steph Curry and the Suns. You know how you feel about the whole Tim Duncan thing?
I feel about you and Roaches. I felt how you and Roaches. Tim Duncan, Steph Curry, Roaches.